What's up YouTube? What's up YouTube? It's your boy JFlood201 back with another reaction. And alright, you know the deal, you know the script. We're going to be reacting to 1090 Jake covering some news. We got BandGang Boom. Apparently he was shot at a funeral, and you know it was like a war zone pretty much. You know, I don't know anything about it. We love 1090 Jake, like reacting to his content. You know, it's just something that I like to do, take my mind off of things, watch some of his reaction videos. And so we're gonna get right into it, you know what I mean? We're gonna get right into it. If you're new here at the channel, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going live. I should have more gaming content coming out. You know, I took a break from things, got some personal issues going on, going through some stuff in life, you know, and it is what it is, you know. We all make mistakes. That being said, you know, I think I'm going to come out on top. But, you know, you live and you learn. And that's really what's important. But we're going to relax tonight. We're going to watch a YouTube video. We're going to see what 1090 Jake is talking about. Alright? And so let's just get right into it. BandGang Boom. Shot at the funeral. That's crazy. Alright? So without further ado, let's see what end of sentence. Is it end of sentence? I don't know. What did he used to call this channel? Forget what he used to call this channel, but we're gonna get into it, alright? Alright.
Man, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on a Detroit rapper that was killed after 129 shots were let off at a funeral.
Police are trying to find the people responsible for a shooting that took place at a funeral gathering.
Neighbors describe the scene as like the Wild West.
It was multiple people that were armed, and so it was members in the crowd shooting back.
Dang, so they got him shooting back.
More sports, more movies, less drama.
And
they got him shooting back, so that means that people were strapped up at the funeral. They can't even go to the funeral without, you know, something to protect themselves. That really tells you about the beef they were into. You know, sounds like some real serious beef. That's not the type of beef that nobody wants, right? Nobody wants that type of smoke. Man, it's a sad state of affairs. A lot of these drill rappers, you know, a lot of this hip hop media stuff is getting crazy, man. You know, they had that streamer and gangbanger over from Canada. He got what? He got a Cuban necktie when he was over in London. It's crazy, bro. Like it's getting sick and scary, my man.
From the vehicle shooting into the crowds.
This is really dangerous to have, you know, a Wild West shootout in a residential neighborhood. And here it is, my property's hit, my neighbor's properties are hit. Thank God there's been no other tragedy, any other loss of life.
Police recovered 129 shell casings at that scene.
August 18th, 2025. Just before 8 p.m., the Detroit Police Department received a call for shots fired near a park on the east side of the city.
Yo, you can hear 1090 Jake's Boston accent, near a park.
Investigators would later learn this was the location of a repast following a funeral. Witnesses reported a burgundy Chrysler 300 drove by the repast, examining who all was in the crowd before opening fire with rifles.
Wait, so did they spin back, or they were just like looking at everybody and then they heard shots?
2 women were shot, 1 man was killed, and 129 shell casings would be recovered by police. The amount of firepower going off by a playground was a clear indication that someone wanted someone else dead. Investigators located 3 main areas with shell casings and believed this wasn't just a targeted attack, but a full-blown gunfight as members of the funeral shot back.
Yo, that's crazy. It's like the OK Corral, man. Like, that's wild. Gun battle, they said.
Because of the large amount of casings left, it's believed some even used machine guns. 5 homes on that block
They had the machine guns, bro. Like some Call of Duty loadouts.
were struck by gunfire. The 2 women that were shot were in their late 20s, and the man that was killed was identified as 26-year-old Daniel Avery, a father of 5.
Oh, so they didn't even get the right guy. That's terrible. Not that it would be any better, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that anybody deserves to die, but that's tragic.
In the streets of Detroit, he was known as the rapper BandGang Boom.
Oh, so they did get the rapper. They did get the rapper. He just is also a father of 5. All right. The way that they did his little intro there, you thought he was like, you know, a civilian community member.
BandGang is a group of rappers from the west side of Detroit. They've been making noise in the Detroit music scene since as far back as 2014, originating with 6 members: Biggs, Javar, AJ, Lonnie, Meso, and Will. The rap group was affiliated with an older gang in the city called TTO, short for the Takeover. TTO warred with a rival gang known as TNO, Trust No One. Smaller and younger gangs would form under the older generation of TTO and TNO members. With the newer generations inheriting old beef, new murders began taking place, and BandGang was guilty by association. 2020 was by far the hardest year for BandGang. In September, 25-year-old AJ, who also went by the name Jizzle P, was gunned down sitting in a Chrysler 300 outside of his mom's house. A witness would report his mom screaming at the scene. 3 months later, Paid Will was shot and killed after a so-called domestic dispute. It's alleged he stashed money at his girlfriend's house. An associate or family member of hers found it and stole it. It's alleged Will found out, put hands on the person that stole it in their house, and was shot and killed by the homeowner. In May of 2021, Lonnie was shot in the head, hand, mouth, and wrist in Las Vegas, but luckily he survived. As the original members began falling off with the music, BandGang Boom, who went by the name The Godfather, was able to step into the spotlight as an up-and-coming member. Boom was no angel in the city though, and when news spread that he died, a series of posts of dead people would lead many to believe Boom was responsible for their deaths. One man specifically was Freaky from TMC, aka Too Much Cash. Freaky was killed in a triple shooting in June of 2019, his 2 friends surviving the attack. It's alleged Boom was the one who killed him, but apparently this had nothing to do with Boom getting shot, and it's believed Boom wasn't even the target. See, Boom was attending the funeral of 22-year-old Dion Davis, who was more commonly known as 5'6". 5'6" was rumored to have been killing a lot, and he was even indicted by the feds in 2021. He'd gone on Instagram Live taunting his ops with a switch. 5 days later, agents recovered the gun off him, stating he drew attention to himself after being involved in several shootings on Detroit's east side. The feds also established 5'6" was a member of the 700 gang. A troubled youth, 5'6" was only 17 when he and another teen were being chased by police after a string of robberies, and their getaway vehicle would crash into another, instantly killing a mother of 3, whose 3 kids and dog were inside of the car at the time. 5'6" was killed on August 6th. His car fired into by another vehicle, causing him to crash and run on foot before collapsing. It's alleged that 5'6's funeral was shot up by his ops, and while Boom and the 2 females who were shot weren't direct targets, they knew what came with attending a killer's funeral. And they weren't the only ones in attendance. Another rapper named Lil Mello from 700 was there. The day after the funeral, Mello would be shot in the face and chest on the freeway, but luckily survived. An Instagram page by the name of Detroit Hits would recover the surveillance footage of 5'6 being killed, as well as the footage of Mello in the hospital room.
Yo, wait, did you guys see this dude's freaking Instagram? Yo, that's crazy. I'm going to be telling you who killed who in the city of Detroit. What? They got a whole Instagram for this beef stuff, for this murder gang stuff. Oh my gosh. Bro, what? That's sick. That's disturbing. That's listen, at the end of the day, we gotta stop the violence. We gotta stop the violence, man. You know, it's on everybody. We all gotta stop it. Violence impacts so many people, so many different ways, and we gotta stop the violence. You know, talk to people, work it out. You know, people are dying over this. People getting locked up over this. We really got to do better as a society and as a community, and it falls on each and every one of us, man. We gotta do right by people, you know.
6 being killed, as well as the footage of Mello in the hospital room. Detroit has always maintained a bloody reputation, and hearing 129 shots went off at a funeral is enough to get anyone's attention. Rest in peace to the many victims of Detroit streets. Now, the second we hear of a funeral getting shot up, the first thing that comes to mind is Wooski. In Chicago, when that funeral got hit up, that was major. That was, you know, and Wooski survived, but he never fully recovered, if that makes sense. To hear 129 shots went off at a funeral or a repast, whatever, it just shows you how far people are willing to take things. If 5 6 was really out here spanking shit like they said he was, he put a lot of hate into people's hearts, to the point that they'll pull up to a funeral and fire off indiscriminately at whoever's there. You know, when you die at a young age, like what, 22, your mother's there, your grandmother's there, your aunt, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your sisters. They're pulling up with switches, drakes, and firing at everybody. That's a crazy amount of hate to have for someone that was only 22 years old. They put that much damage.
Yeah, that's something else we gotta talk about, like hate, man. Hate, vengeance, you know, revenge. These themes are unholy. There's no other way to put it. You know, if you have your heart set in something like that, your heart set in revenge, your heart set in hate, your heart set in getting even, right? I think that really, not only does it say something about you, but it says something about the environment. You know, it says something about everybody involved, but it definitely, it does something, man. You know, like forgiveness is like the most sacred and beautiful act. You know, forgiveness is talked about in like every religion. It's talked about, you know, as not just being for the person who needs forgiving, but also for the person who is doing the forgiving, right? And you know, it makes me think of the guy from Philly who lost his son. $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, right? He's in there. He's talking about, you know, forgiving his brother's killer, right? He's talking about how he could have gone and tried to get vengeance and all this stuff, but the best thing for him was to move forward, was to heal from it. And they're trying to tell, you know, and I think it was his son's killer, right? So they're you know, he's forgiving somebody for taking his son's life, and that's crazy because that just shows that's true strength. You know, that's not for the weak-hearted. You know, and it brought so much peace into that person's existence, into their life, into their healing, and you watch them become successful, so successful. And they were talking to the rapper from Chicago that just got indicted. What's his name? Man, I can't think of it right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all already know who I'm talking about, right? The guy, he did that record with Drake. He had, he had that beef with Duck and all those people, right? Anyway, the point is that they're trying to convince him to forgive, right? And to bring forgiveness into his heart, and he wasn't able to do that. And look what he did. He went and tried to get vengeance over there in LA, and they ended up plugging Lil Tim, and now he's indicted on a RICO for murder. So it's like forgiveness is such a powerful theme. We all got to try it. We really do.
On this earth at 22 years old, that even after they died a violent death, their funeral got to get shot up too. And this must hit major for Detroit because, BandGang has apparently been on the music scene for so long, and they've literally just watched them fade. And I mean, that, I guess, goes for anybody. If you look at Chicago and all the different sets in Chicago, from fucking Old Block to 600, none of them are the same anymore. They had that time period where they were on a run, and some of them blew and became millionaires and left the city. Everyone else got left behind, went to prison, got killed. And then now, whoever's left is just working regular jobs. You know what I mean? Still in the trenches, trying to make it happen. It's sad, but everybody can't come with you. And everybody isn't going to make it. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comments section. I mean, this is crazy.
Alright, so great video from 1090 Jake. We love his content. Go to his page. I'm gonna give the video a like and all that stuff. You're live here with JFlood201. We're gonna go back to covering New Jersey news and East Coast beefs and stuff like that. But I love tuning into some of these videos too. Reacting to 1090 Jake, reacting to breaking news and to these bigger stories, to West Coast stuff too. Whenever I post West Coast stuff, I get a lot of views. So we're going to try and get back into it. Remember, everybody, do better, myself included, but we all got to do better. And that's it for me, all right? Stay safe out there. It's JFlood201. Peace.